Hey adventurers, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Janda, and we're going to be playing Pillars of Eternity. I have only played the intro to this game before once, some years ago, so I'm pretty much going into it blind. It's a pretty old school RPG made by, I believe, Obsidian and published by Paradox, but if I'm extremely wrong about that, I'll tell you later. I'm not wrong about that. Okay, good.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know.
Kind of ominous.
The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start.
Okay,
You
so it's
have
a wagon
taken
train.
suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Well, that's a good coincidence. So that was your Star Wars opening crawl. I assume we have character creation before we go much any further. Yeah. Alright. Let's see, we're gonna go with male. Yeah, I understand there's a lot of unique races in this game. Obviously, you do have your standard human, dwarf, elf, but they've also got these Omoa, maybe? Which are apparently aquatic-ish. And the Orlan, which I don't know what to consider these, honestly. And godlike, which are obviously legally distinct from tieflings, presumably. Although these different races are interesting, we'll probably go with human. It does offer actual stat changes, I see. Resolve, might. It's not exactly willpower and strength, but it's... or charisma and strength, but it's kind of close. Purely might. Plus might and constitution, but minus dexterity. Dexterity, perception. Perception and resolve, but no might. Intellect. It's interesting, these are the only ones that get an intellect boost. Okay, I think we are going to go with human, though. Oh, and there's sub-races. Look at that. Meadow folk are common in... I think this is where the game actually takes place. They live in meadows. And they get... once per encounter, bonuses to accuracy and damage when they're damaged. Ocean... okay, so all the humans get the same buff. It's just looks... Ocean folk are from the other side of the world and live in the Valian Republic. And the Savannah folk are from south of the equator, uncommon in this area. Well, let's assume we're just a pretty typical guy from the area. Class is Okay, looks like you're pretty typical bunch. Barbarians. The barbarians. Chanter. That's different, but I feel like maybe it takes the place of bard. Sort of, yeah. Storytellers, etc. It's mostly a support class, it looks like. Ciphers, which manipulates souls. That's fun. This is almost taking the place of like a necromancer or something in terms of if you want to play the edgy class with the forbidden abilities, I think. Druid, fighter, monk, paladin, priest, which is totally not cleric, ranger, rogue, wizard. Okay. I'm not a fancy man. We're probably going to play either fighter or wizard. And I kind of like having swords, so I think maybe we're just going to play fighter. I am a sword lover. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach. Though most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure, they can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that unifies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Yeah. Do I want to be fight? Maybe I want to be wizard, actually. I can give the cool swords to somebody else, presumably. Masters of Academic Magic. We're going to stick with fighter. Knockdown. Disciplined barrage. Do I just pick one? Okay, yeah. So this increases accuracy for 15 seconds. This knocks enemies prone. I'd probably rather have knockdown because that offers a lot of potential utility. Attributes, okay. I would assume the stars indicate what we need to put points into. And yeah, I assume we need a lot into these critical skills. Can I take points out? I can, okay. Although it's not necessarily good to have terrible dexterity, but intellect, however. Not critical. Getting more divided by the second about having a fighter. Maybe I should... You know what? We're going to go back and we're going to make a wizard instead. Oh boy. Now I got to read all these spells though. Okay. Dazzling lights. Dazes people. Chill fog. Blindness and freeze damage. Parasitic staff. Gives us a staff to wield. Eldritch aim for accuracy. Fan of flames. Okay, that seems like a just handy type of thing. Movement speed. Field of ghostly blades, which hobbles things. Jolting touch. This is chain lightning. Freeze. Are these both touch range? Yeah, they are pretty much. This is magic missile. Slicken. Knocks down. It's Probably good to take something like this, because damage reduction is always something wizards need for themselves. Disrupts enemy spellcasters, well that could be good. And a duplicate. Okay, we probably need magic missile, and maybe fan of flames, and... what else we want? Maybe shield, and... I have absolutely no idea about builds for this game, for the record, so I'm just entirely going with whatever seems right to me. Blindness and freeze damage in an area of effect. Do I need more utility spells? I feel like I'm not even guaranteed, you know, as the main character, maybe focus more on the damage spells, I don't know. I could probably get a companion to give utility spells, I'm guessing. Okay, let's go with those. Alright, no, interesting, these points stay. Well, take them away. Yeah, so I assume intellect. Oh, it's still might? Oh, interesting. So that's for magic. It's not just strength, it's for magic as well. Presumably put a lot of points into that and into intellect. Because this increases your area of effect and duration for special abilities. Dexterity is action speed, so that's good. Constitution. As a wizard, you're not supposed to get hit, but you might. This... I'm going to put a point or two into perception, seeing as we are the... Well, it does contribute to accuracy as well, although I guess dexterity... doesn't really, actually. That's interesting. Oh, this just straight up affects our damage. Let me see. Solve. I don't really want this to be negative. I'm not too much of a power gamer, so I'm not going to cripple some of my stats very much just to get others better. Seems fine. Okay, culture. Oh boy. There's a whole world out there, huh? And I've never really heard of any of these places. The Aedir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It's centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Aedir is at its heart and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. That'll give me one extra resolve. The Deadfire Archipelago, which I assume is where the second game is set, consisting of the nation of Nasitak, dozens of Momoa settlements, and hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Deadfire is home to boreal dwarves, Momoa, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. Ixometal Plains. Located to the northeast of Aer Glanfath, the Ixometal Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixometal culture is one of the oldest in the world, but one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Okay, so they're just farmers. Old Valia. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Intellect. Rauate. Dominated by the Momoa nation of Rauate, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Momoa, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they're some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the East. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. Constitution buff. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable, and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. Might, and the White That Wends. A large, cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it's home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. I like the sound of this one, actually. From a crumbling empire. This is the sort of place adventurers come from, probably. Gives an intellect boost, too. Although I feel like if we're going to be from there, then maybe we'd be ocean folk, since that's what's dominant there. Doesn't make any statistical difference, so just makes sense. Background. Aristocrat. Lore knowledge. Well, I do kind of love lore knowledge, so... Colonist. Doesn't entirely even make sense because I'm being a colonist now. Drifter. Stealth. Well, that makes more sense for a rogue. Laborer. That would be fine. Merchant. Lore and mechanics. That also kind of makes more sense for a rogue, probably, though. Artist? That might be right. Oh, same as an aristocrat. Oh, are these all? No, they're not. Okay. Dissident? No. Hunter? Not a ranger. Mercenary? Not a soldier. Slave? Still not. It's probably one of these two. I think we'll go with artist, maybe. I mean, an aristocrat, I mean, you could make up a lot of reasons why an aristocrat would be out here, but... Inherently speaking, an artist feels like more likely to be the one to run away to a distant shore. Okay, appearance. This, I'm not going to screw with too much, but... Well, that portrait does not match the face at all, so... A lot of these aren't even human portraits, I see. That one's not bad. $38. Or that one, maybe. That's true. Well, this one could be wizardly. And artistic. There's a pretty solid variety among these portraits. Okay, is that all for them? No, that's not all for them. Yeah, maybe these are dwarves, actually. Those are the same portrait with different hair, but okay. They're doing pretty well overall. Those are all dwarves, I think, and these are elves. Interesting that you could technically choose a portrait just wildly different from what your character looks like. This one looks the closest to what this guy looks like. We're going to maybe modify this guy a little, but not much. Oh, I can change my gear colors. That's nice. I like green. That's a little riotous. Black is maybe too somber. This looks artistic. I wonder if these change to brighter shades if I went for Meadowfolk. The skin and hair color all seem fine. Let's see if I can match the facial hair in the portrait. That might be as close as... Can I zoom in? No, not really. That might be the closest. Or, no, that even. Oh. Yeah, that's probably close. I don't know how I skipped that, actually. That's it exactly. Okay. What happens if I change heads? Nothing dramatic, really. I mean, wish I could zoom in, but I don't see any way to do so. I think I like head 2 the best. This might be... Just based on the portrait, I'm basically going for flowing locks of some sort. That's not too bad. Thirteen's probably better. Yeah, maybe that's a little too much, though. Alright, 18, probably. Oh, boy, we get to pick a voice.
Well?
Watch and learn.
Ah!
Shh.
I've got this.
Death to our enemies! The better part of valor. I shall lead us. Show them how it's done!
Easy does it.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
Let's go!
Steady does it.
Ready when you are. I'll lead the way. Death to our enemies. Quick and quiet. Leading the way. Attack! The better part of valor.
Hey there.
Now I am the leader of the group. Nice and slow.
I'm here.
Watch and learn.
No, honestly, they're not that different from each other, really, mostly.
Ha!
I'll take a
Would be
peek.
the most appropriate for this artistic wizard type.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
Probably benevolent. Name. Well. I assume it's never going to be said out loud, because... Custom and all. New quest. The Gilded Vale. Journey to Gilded Vale. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis. And his name is Odima.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks.
Okay, okay. Super racist, but that's fine.
Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. In which case you'll be dead in a day.
Ah, that's encouraging.
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
Okay, makes sense.
I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfle, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. That's why he wants to hunt, I guess. It's pretty dark already. Sparfle nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Okay, so what's up with the... First of all, where
Grow
would
on
I
a
find
bush
the
that's
berries?
common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Alright, so then what's up with the ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
It's interesting, so whatever indigenous peoples or primitives or whatever live out here didn't build these super ancient ruins, but they do worship
Of course,
them.
all the ones around here have been
Something.
ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pond, so I hear.
Probably true, if they're close to a major road. Okay, my attributes, etc. may open up dialogue options. Makes sense. Who did build
Got
the ruins,
different
then?
names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
That's fair, I guess. So how
Not if
dangerous
you
is
hurry
it?
about your business.
Okay, so it's
not if the weather
dangerous,
holds up.
probably. Oh, and he's worried about the weather. All right. So what weather did they get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether,
Beawick.
the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
We're going to be annihilated by a Beawick, aren't we? They would not have mentioned it if we weren't. It's going to come up at some point.
They don't got
So what
Audra
about
where
the
you come
Hitchrockers?
from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
Okay, that's probably
It's more
very
like a
important
shell
also.
than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
So it's a living,
The soul
growing rock?
butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things.
Ah, it's
I've
a soul
heard
stone
tell
of
it
some
can
kind.
hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
All right, I'll go see about
Hold
those
on.
berries then.
Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
That's fair enough, Caravan Master. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
Okay, Kalicia's gonna let us drop
What
dead.
kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
It's fair enough,
Don't
Kalisha.
listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
We're probably in
Off
good
with you.
hands.
Aiden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be a Beawick, isn't it? All right,
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
all these folks. Yeah, no, hold on. Kalisha, I'm gonna have to talk to like 30 people first. Just so everybody knows what they're getting into. I'm not a 100% completionist, but
At once.
if there's people to talk to, I'm definitely going to talk to them, and I'm going to try my best to look in more or less every nook and cranny I can find, so... And read all the lore out loud. So if you're into that, welcome, and if not, feel free to go elsewhere. Okay, I may want to watch these windows. This, you're telling me about the tutorial. I can have up to 5 companions. That's quite a lot, actually. Usually it's... well, 3 maybe would be more common. Dima's assigned Kalisha to help me. Assume that means she's a temporary companion. We'll see. She's a fighter. I need that because I'm a useless wizard. Click on their selection circle or portrait.
Yes?
Sure.
What you need?
Gonna be much
I'm
easier
here.
to click on their portraits, I can tell you already. Or press the number button. That's pretty easy too. Okay. Just select multiple. Oh, I can
I'm
click
here.
drag also. Click anywhere on the screen.
I'd be glad to.
Sure. When multiple members are selected, the action bar is hidden.
I'm here.
Oh, yes, I see. Alright.
I'd be glad to.
Does she follow me if I run around, or no, she really doesn't? Maybe if I went off screen. Alright, what do I have? Action bar wise, I have a scepter or my fists. I can set up an AI script apparently. I got my spells. I got second wind, I assume this is the super generic wizard spell or something. Just your fallback. There's a little corner. Alright, let's talk to people. Oh, look, as raw as that merchant. Okay. Let's just get us into a real conversation. He's just generic. Right. The merchant head-on has a conversation that opens a store with equipment for sale. Well, something tells me I don't have very much money, but maybe. Do I have an inventory? Attack, cancel, select all, formation, camp, which I have 0 of. Scouting. Oh, that's stealth mode, I see. Selection circles will start to fill with yellow when something's starting to detect. And it'll help us find hidden objects. Alright. We'll immediately be detected if we touch someone's selection circle with our own. Gotcha. Inventory. I have a ring, which is with 410 copper pieces, and it is supposed to shield us from the myriad perils that plague the world of Eora. An aspect of the god Eothas, Gone, represents the harvest of old age, symbolized here by many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gone helps protect the dignity of old age, so too do his followers pledge to prevent young lives from being harvested before their time. I wonder if that's a common god in Valia or what. I have a whole breastplate, which is odd for a wizard, honestly, but... And then here's my spell grimoire. Interesting. There are 9th and 10th level spells, but I don't see explicit slots for them. So wizards can learn a staggering number of spells, but we're limited by grimoire capacity, so that's pretty D&D-like, basically. This is our spell book. 4 spells of each level. I assume I don't actually know all the first level spells, so I can't just swap them all in and out at a will. No. Yeah. Whatever I picked in character creation is what I'm stuck with. We have 100 gold. Oh, and we have this giant miniature space piglet, which I'm assuming is a complete edition bonus or something. That'll follow us around. Characters tab, bunch of stats, health, damage. Honestly, there's nothing terribly relevant here. We can see Kalicia's stats. Pretty solid. I mean, she's at least as tough as me. Journal. Typical. Okay. Collect spring berries. And we're headed for Gilded Vale, which is said to be a prosperous village full of opportunities for work and wealth and offering land to new settlers. We also have biography. encyclopedia. I can take notes, so that's good. Map, stronghold options. Don't own a stronghold, but I guess I can get one. Spoiler. And here's a map. It's not exactly what you'd call filled in. I am
Quietly now.
not going to spoil much anything for myself, but I do reserve the right to look at maps in order to make sure I don't miss collectibles or anything. It's all just generic caravanners. All kinds of beasts in these woods. Don't wander alone. The demon doesn't lead us astray. These are all just nobodies. I don't know what the Gwanfathans are.
Anyone need supplies?
They don't like people
I've
wandering
got sundries for sale.
Hello, Haydon. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his
Got a
tunic.
whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He shakes his head and laughs when he notices you. He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road. Okay, so he's currently a traveling merchant, but maybe he's not usually a traveling merchant.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale, if you'd like to take a look.
Well, maybe. How have I not met this man before, incidentally? We've been traveling together for who knows how long.
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Just be a massive jerk about it. I'm sure he'll do fine. Okay, so he must have not been doing a good business in the Adir Empire. Okay, we have a rank and a disposition reputation. Not inherently good or bad. Don't misalign with your deity, but I don't really have one. Okay.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Why'd you move all the way
Because
out
it
here?
seemed friendlier than Raid Saris? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago.
Oh, I see. He's a youngest
There wasn't enough
youngest
for me
son
to
or
do back
something. There
home.
wasn't enough
I
inheritance
moved
for him.
out to try and expand.
Business? Sure. I don't know why the Red Sarons are so fanatical, but seems reasonable enough.
It's
that
not as
empire?
big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Saris and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Okay, so we are in Deerwood, I think, and we won independence from the Adir Empire a while ago. So this is like the medieval. I don't know. It'd be wildly stretching it to say it's like the medieval United States or anything. It's just a medieval ex-colony. All right, what do you sell? He pretty much sells what appears to be all of your basic level everything. Copper pieces are the basic items, actually, not gold. Interesting, I can retrain characters at random merchants. Alright. Well, he sells all the generic weapons, but I mean, I already have the generic basic wizard's weapon, I think, so nor do I have enough gold to buy this armor. The only thing I could buy that might be handy is lockpicks, but I don't actually have lockpicking skills, really, so I'll just let him be, probably. Thanks for watching, adventurers. New parts will be up every other day, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. Have a nice day, adventurers. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.